Day 5, Southern Gothic Tales. What's in the bag? Day 5. Let's cut it open and see what we have. Midnight Garden Watcher, inspired by Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. This story follows the ghostly statue of a girl rumored to roam at night, watching trespassers with marble eyes and silent judgment. Day 5. And since it was a garden, I wanted to do some bluesy, tealsy green and deep and murky. So there we go, Day 5.
There's a place out past the cane fields, beyond the iron fence that no longer swings. The air stays just a little too still. A greenhouse once stood there. It leans now, cracked glass and twisted ivy swallowing it whole. But once, it bloomed with beauty no garden should have known. And now, they say it still does. Just after midnight. The story begins with a woman, as they often do. Miss Adeline DeBose. Wealthy, reclusive, beautiful, but only in the way a spider's web is beautiful, delicate, dangerous, and always waiting. She adored her garden, imported soil from overseas, orchids no one could name, roses that didn't need sunlight, and vines that pulsed like veins. It was her sanctuary and her obsession. She tended it by moonlight, dressed in mourning black, veil and all. Locals whispered she was mourning someone, but others said it wasn't mourning, it was magic. Then one summer, the garden outgrew its walls. Vines pushed through the glass and the soil climbed the columns. Blooms grew teeth. Not literally, but something in them changed. People say the flowers began watching. One servant swore the lilies tracked her with their faces. Another was found tangled in the vines, eyes open, lungs filled with pollen. Miss Adeline simply smiled and said she wasn't kind to the orchids. No one asked again. Now, here's where it gets real strange. Because one morning, a man showed up, tall and pale and uninvited. No one ever learned his name, but Miss Adeline met him in the garden. And the very next day, they wed. No guests, no minister, just two shadows behind fogged-up glass, exchanging vows over blood-colored roses. And after that, Miss Adeline was never seen in town again. But at night, that greenhouse glowed, like moonlight was trapped inside. If you stood close enough to see your breath in the summer heat, you'd hear them speaking, not words exactly, hums, whispers, the rustle of petal against petal. And if you brought flowers, well, they bloom in your hand, just for a second, and then they wilt. There was a girl years later who tried to photograph the greenhouse, an art student, curious and bold. She got in just before midnight, climbed through a broken pane, set up her camera, and waited. And when the moon passed over the greenhouse roof, the light shimmered and the garden came alive. Flowers opened in unison. The vines shifted towards her. The air smelled of crushed herbs and perfume and decay. She snapped one photo and ran like the devil was on her heels. When she developed the pictures, the garden was there, but so was Miss Adeline. And behind her, the man. Just a shadow, really. Except his reflection in the glass had no face. And Miss Adeline's garden didn't like to be ignored. Every few years, something blooms from the soil. Not a plant, but something else. Like a pair of earrings, or a child's ribbon, a bone carved like a comb. What the earth gives back is what it swallowed, but changed. And if you take it, well, you won't sleep easy again. Because the garden remembers who touches it. It watches, it waits, and it grows closer. Always closer. You'll find petals in your shoes or soil on your pillow. And when the moon rises, you'll hear her voice behind your ear. You've come to tend me again, haven't you? Legend says every year on the summer solstice, the greenhouse opens itself, just for 1 hour. No block, no vines, no danger, just beauty beyond belief. Lavender roses that pulse with their own heartbeat, bleeding heart flowers that whisper lullabies, and a single tree with silver bark and blossoms that vanish at dawn. But if you step inside, you can't pick anything. You can only watch. If you take a cutting, will you take a curse with you? Because beauty this strange, it never comes free. No one ever saw Miss Adeline die. Some say she still tends the garden, unchanged, untouched by time. Others believe she became the garden, her body feeding the roots, her memories blooming in the orchid petals. They buried someone in the greenhouse once, a traveler who didn't heed the stories. His grave is marked by a single stone. It reads, "To those who listen, the flowers speak truth. And when the wind blows just right, you can hear her laughing. Not cruel, just knowing, like she's waiting for you." Some nights the old DeBose estate disappears. The house, the grounds, even the fence, gone. Only the greenhouse remains. And the garden inside it, well, it is new again. Not overgrown, not shattered, fresh and lush, and beckoning. And if you stare long enough, well, you'll see them dancing. Adeline and her faceless groom, their arms entwined in the vines, their feet never touching the floor. And around them, the plants lean in like an audience, listening, and breathing, and waiting for you. Join us tomorrow for more Southern Gothic tales.